So welcome everybody to the TBA online graduation ceremony and celebration honoring the class of 2020. We have 13 graduates today, and we have I guess just over 50 registrations. So those of you who are more than one person at a computer, we probably have over at least 100 people all together. So glad that everybody could join us. A few notes, a few technical notes. First of all, this is being recorded, so just for your edification, you should know, so that if you can watch it later, you can. People aren't able to be with us today, they can access it later. Also, excuse me. If anyone is interested in, even if you're not interested in closed captioning, we have that available at the bottom of your screen. There should be something that says closed caption. There's a little facing upward caret thing, and you can see, you can use the closed captioning. So we have someone, anyone who's been to High Holiday services with us at Temple Brit Achim knows Becky, and Becky is with us today. Closed captioning for those who can benefit from it. And so there are, let's see, people are raising their hand, but we're not going to necessarily be calling on people. This is my first webinar that I'm hosting, so it's possible that things can go, it's definitely possible that things can go wrong. It's also possible things will go wrong. So in advance, I thank you and ask you for your forgiveness, and ask you for your understanding. You're welcome. I see people are putting messages into the chat. You're welcome to throw messages into the chat. It's not possible to communicate directly back and forth, but any messages you throw out there, all the panelists can see. You can also choose whether you send a message to all of the attendees as well, or just the panelists. You have that control. Everyone is in listen-only mode. So your video is not working, your microphone is not working. All the attendees are here to be part of the crowd and to be celebrating and supporting our graduates today. So so keep those messages in the chat coming, and if you have any technical issues, then one possibility is to just write it in the chat, and maybe someone else will know how to help you, because I don't know that I could, but here we go. So welcome everybody. I'm glad you're all here. As I said, we have 13 graduates, and we'll be hearing from all of them in a short moment. But we're taught in our tradition to sanctify holy moments, and we are gathering together for the first time ever, all of us. And so let us sing Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Thank you. I heard you all. That was great. So during the course of the ceremony, you'll be meeting all of the graduates. You'll get to see their faces and their names. You can see them up on the screen now, and you'll have a chance to hear, not necessarily directly from them, but you'll be able to tell who's graduating where, what degree they've got, what their plans are. the registration questions were added after people already registered, so not everybody even had an opportunity to answer every question that was on there. But so we'll get a sense of where some of what some of these people have planned for after graduation. So we'll get to know them a little bit. But I wanted to just share with you one thought as we begin. I don't have a lot of time in my life to read. I don't read as much as I really want to. But one of my favorite books is called Juggling for the Complete Klutz. And it comes with its own set of beanbags. And it's really a fabulous book. It's a great kind of, I guess, right after Torah. This is a good manual for life. And I want to share with you chapter 1, the entire chapter 1. It's only like 3 paragraphs long, but it'll go quickly and it'll be good. It's called Step 1. This is the whole series of things that teaches you how to do. This particular book teaches you how to juggle, in case you haven't figured that out. So it says Step 1, the drop. And it says, pick up all 3 bags and hold them briefly. You'll note that there is one more bag than you have hands, unless you are that rather rare case, in which event, send away for our limited edition of Juggling for the Exceptionally Gifted. Throw all 3 bags into the air and, making no effort to catch any of them, let them all hit the ground. This is an example of the drop. I do it all the time, and so will you. But it's good to familiarize yourself with the moves early on. Practice the drop until the novelty wears off. Many people find this occurs quite rapidly. Others seem to get a lot out of this exercise for quite some time. Leaving those folks to themselves, we'll move on. The drop. It happens all the time. It happens in life. It happens every day to every person, one way or another. Sometimes there are big drops. Sometimes there are small drops. And what's really important is about what's there to cushion us and support us as we drop, and how we bounce back, quite literally, and bring ourselves up again. So today came about because there was a drop. Our world is facing all kinds of challenges, more challenges and different challenges than any of us have ever seen in our lifetime. And there are lots of different ways to deal with it, and lots of different ways to come together to go through it. And one way that we've come together is to celebrate all the members of our congregation. This celebration, this ceremony, is to remind all of you graduates that this is your home. We are your family. Temple Brit Achim is your extended congregational family, and you need to remember that. You always have a home here, and you always have this extended family for you. So with that, let's get started. I don't have a program printed out or to show you, but I will tell you we're going to have our congregational president, Steve Kantrowitz, who will speak in just a moment, and he will share some thoughts with our graduating class. Then we'll have a musical presentation, and with some pictures, a little photo montage. Then we'll have our next speaker, Joel Chasnoff, and he will speak, and then after that, another musical montage. Then I'll share some words, and then we'll have our closing musical tribute with a rousing chorus of Siman Tov U'Mazel Tov, and then we will all head on our way. So let us continue at this point. Some of you know Steve Kantrowitz well, and some of you have not had an opportunity to get to know him just yet, but you will have a chance to hear him speak now and share some thoughts, as I said, with our class. and I was not as prepared as I wanted to be. So very briefly, I just wanted to share with you a couple things. Rear Admiral Stephen B. Kantrowitz, JAGC, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, retired from the U.S. Navy. In his last assignment before retirement, Rear Admiral Kantrowitz served as Assistant Deputy Judge Advocate General of the Navy and Deputy Commander, Naval Legal Service Command. He led the reserves, judge advocates, and legalmen. Kantrowitz served as acting judge advocate general both in the Washington area and representing the Navy at various national and international forums. He also provided counsel and leadership on the full range of Navy legal and management issues. And hang on one second. And I won't read the entire thing, but at the end it says that he has been awarded the Distinguished Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, 4 awards, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, 3 awards, the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, as well as various unit and service awards. And I think personally what impresses me the most is that he is president of Temple B'rith Achim. And so we're going to share there's particular music that gets played before people with certain ranks are invited to speak, and so I have the official music that gets played when someone of Steve's rank is addressing the crowd, and here it is. All right. Thank you, Rear Admiral Kantrowitz.
Thank you, Rabbi, for that kind introduction. I think it's more than most people were expecting, including me. So thank you very much, though. And I agree. Most impressive thing there is president of our congregation. So that's something that I'm very pleased to be here in that capacity. Hello, parents, siblings, relatives, and friends of our honorees. But most of all, welcome to our high school and college graduates. Henry Terry, Gabrielle Kerbel, Sam Tepe, Bailey Yablanovitz, Nicole Sherwood, Chase Adler, Olivia Snyder, Jesse Davis, Ellie Joseph, Jeffrey Kirschenbaum, Samantha Frank, Ryan Davis, and Max Rosenfeld. And on behalf of our entire congregation, Mazel Tov. And thanks Zoom for virtual backgrounds. So it appears that I am in Downton Abbey, and for the new virtual clothing and grooming option, making it look like I'm wearing real clothes, not sweats, and appearing that I have shaved this month. The only thing I'd like to have in addition to that is a virtual haircut, so I feel a little more comfortable. All of you have been through a lot. I want to give you a break. So I'll make this speech short, no more than 3 hours. I know that this is bittersweet for the graduates. An online event is not what you thought you would be doing when you graduated from high school or college. This isn't how you and your parents and the rest of your family, your teachers and your TBA community wanted it to be. But we must play the hand we are dealt. And the sweet part of it is that we are here together as one community, family, friends, but not in lieu of anything, wanting to share our graduates' successes and accomplishments. Our graduates made it over these years and through the extra struggle of the last few months. Congratulations, graduates, on all your achievements, your hard work, dedication, and your bright futures. Your graduation is a joyous occasion. In our faith, we don't celebrate alone. So thank you, Rabbi, and your entire team for this wonderful idea and this ceremony for an important milestone. Our joyful occasions are done together, laughing and connecting. That's why we are here to celebrate the class of 2020. And I wish we weren't distancing so I could have you all over to my Downton Abbey gardens for high tea. But that's not possible, so we're going to do the best we can. I can't tell you that what we are experiencing now is normal or that it will soon be over. And it is a big deal. It has claimed many lives, friends, neighbors, family members, and it has turned our world upside down, more so for our graduates who were completing an educational and social milestone and who were and are about to take on new challenges, college, graduate school, or being in the workforce. And our graduates will also be continuing and expanding their efforts of making the world better. That is Tikkun Olam, found in our Mishnah, our rabbinic teachings, defined as acts of kindness performed to perfect or repair the world. Our graduates, I have no doubt that you will succeed, personally, professionally, and with Tikkun Olam. I know that because of who you are. I asked our TBA school leadership to describe you, and the word I heard from Sharon Foreman Toll was resilient. That spirit will carry the day, just as it has throughout Jewish history. As an example, our Jewish faith's resilience allowed us to refocus our religious life through synagogues and the home after the destruction of the Second Temple. And Jewish resilience shortly after the horror of the Shoah led to the creation of Israel, the nation state of the Jewish people. Resilience also led to the greatest generation, to achieve so much after experiencing tremendous turmoil and deprivation in the Great Depression. That generation not only fought gallantly in the Second World War and worked tirelessly and magnificently at home to support the effort, but as the historian Harvey Kay has noted, the greatest generation also strove to create economic growth and development, end poverty, and allow people to advance themselves. That greatest generation was shaped by the economic pain and upheaval of the Depression and the horrors of the Second World War. Those in the greatest generation also felt rapid technological changes, radio, phones, and many other then high-tech innovations. Sound familiar? Our graduates have experienced fantastic technological changes over their lives. They have seen our economy flourish and then crash in 2008. They experienced the tremendous dislocation and changes brought on by the September 11th terrorist attacks. And now they are in the midst of a pandemic, the likes of which nearly no one alive has seen, and that has caused massive pain, disruption, and sorrow. So I see our graduates as the vanguard of the greatest generation 2.0. Sociology professor Glenn Elder said that members of the greatest generation fared unusually well in their adult years, as they emerged from the turmoil with an ability to know how to survive and make do and solve problems. I see greatest generation 2.0 as doing that and rushing in at a time when we need them to help repair the world, Tikkun Olam, with their ability to solve problems and their strength and their spirit. So as we send these accomplished young people on their way, we have tremendous confidence in the future because we know they will do great things for themselves, their families, and for the world. Graduates, go to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Admiral K. We really appreciate your being part of today and for sharing your thoughts with our graduates. Let's see, I'm going to, there we go. So now we have a little musical montage, a little video montage. I just some of you are aware that I want to give a thanks to Marcia Foss and Susan Krause and Max Foss for putting together a large part of our gift basket. Well, pretty much the entire gift basket. There's an envelope that was also included a bunch of things. There was a sash. There was a poster. Everyone was supposed to get a copy of Joel's book, but had to buy them secondhand, so I didn't get enough. And some of them came dedicated to someone else. So so I didn't, and none of the names matched, so I didn't give those out. But so this is some of you have seen Joel's book. We'll get to that in a little while. But we also delivered a pizza pie, so that you could the graduates could have something to nosh on, and a little flyer that said "Cheese the Day" with a slice of cheese pizza right there. Cheese the Day. And so we have very creative people in our congregation, and so thank you to Marcia and Susan, Max, for the poster and for putting that together. And then some of you may have already opened the brown envelope, but if you got the message that I sent before you did, that's great, because we'll get to that towards the end. But now, as I said, we have a musical montage, so I'm going to share. Hang on one second. Let me make sure that I have this up and ready to go. And get the right ones. That's that. And we're going to put that over there. And then we're going to get that started. Okay, so what's important about this montage is that it's a whole selection of pictures of all of our graduates, but there are no names next to the pictures. And so it'll be interesting to see if you can figure out who is who. So let me just get this started. Oop, no, hang on a second. Get back there. Come on. All right, hang on one second. Sorry about that. How do I get you out of there? Back. Sorry about this. I thought thought I had this. Oh, come on. Okay, let's do this. How about we start over here and do it one more time. And I don't want. Okay, so you know what? Hang on one second. I'm sorry about this. I just we call this the drop. You may have heard of this before. So let's put this over here. There we go. We'll get this over here. And now we'll get this going. All right, so there we go. Come on. Okay. Share screen, share audio, and here we go.
Is this the little girl I carry?
All right, it's not. Hang on a second. Sorry. Come on. Why is this not? I don't know. I don't know if you're actually seeing this.
You know, Rabbi, I think if you push slideshow, move your cursor right and then down. Click slideshow, and now move left there. Click there, play from start, play from beginning.
Now, how do we get it to?
Automatically move forward.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Oh, you see it. Do you see this? Do you see the slide? Do you see the?
I see the slide. You can drag the sound box away from his face just to expose more of the picture, I think.
So do you see just the picture now?
No, but we also see what you see. We see the bottom of your screen. What you?
Okay. Let me.
Now it's gone.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I want. All right. Then there and there. Now you should see the big picture.
Better.
Excellent. All right.
But I want the Fiddler on the Roof music. That's what makes it.
Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back.
That's why we're gonna cry, even though it's kids we don't know.
Okay. So from the beginning, play. So is it? But it's not. Maybe. All right.
Is this the little
Starting over.
Is this the little girl I carry? Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember growing older. When did they?
When did she get?
All right, so I apologize for this. Remember, things drop. So let me, I'm not sure exactly why this is happening. So, display.
What if you try clicking on the slide? Maybe.
Oh, look at you. That must have been Gabrielle. All right. So I just got to know, because I had it all timed. It's supposed to. All right. So we're going to start one more time. Sorry about that.
To be
There we go. It's going now.
When did he grow to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were small?
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years.
day by day.
They look so natural together.
Just like two newlyweds should be.
Is there a canopy in store for me? Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, sweetly fly the years. One season following another. Lay them with happiness.
Is this the little girl I carry? Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember growing older. When did they?
When did she get to be a beauty? When did he grow to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were small?
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the day.
Okay, sorry, sorry about that. I'm glad that eventually worked. All right, so some of you probably recognized yourselves or others, but at this point, once Joel dries his eyes, we'll be able to hear from our second speaker. Some of you have met Joel before and know a little bit about him. He just very briefly part of the intro that was on our registration page. He's a Chicago native. Joel, he has performed on stage and screen in 9 countries, including 2 off-Broadway shows, a USO comedy tour of Japan and Korea, more than 1,000 Jewish events in North America and Europe, Israeli late-night TV, and most importantly, I think, and most impressively, several times at Temple Brit Achim right here in King of Prussia, both virtually and live and in person. He's a comedian, he's a former IDF combat soldier, he's an author, and a frequent visitor to our wonderful congregation, Joel Chasnoff.
Did you research what music is used to introduce me?
I
There's
did
not a
not
spec-
actually. I was just going to play.
If you're a private in the Israeli army driving a tank, do you have a certain is there a certain musical score that I guess not? But thank you for the intro nonetheless. And the real reason we're here is to address the graduates. So graduates, first of all, a big mazal tov to you. I'm speaking to you from my kitchen outside of Tel Aviv in Ra'anana, Israel. And the first thing I want to tell you, graduates, is yes, you may be bummed that this wasn't the graduation you had always planned on. But I'm in my 40s now, and I assure you, it doesn't matter. You won't care. Later on, when you're older and you have families and kids and jobs, it won't matter. I look back on my high school graduation and barely remember a thing. I look back on my college graduation as one of the most difficult and forgettable days of my life because of people I know passing out in the heat, in the stands, in the speech. I don't even remember who spoke at my graduation speech. It was very boring. This is better. You're going to look back. If you do remember it at all, you will look back and remember that this is actually better than what a lot of us had to go through. So that's my first note. My second note to you is what could I possibly say to you? What wisdom could a comedian impart? I was thinking about this when Rabbi Lazar asked me to speak to you. What as a comic could I possibly say? And then the answer came to me. It's rather obvious. I feel like Jewish jokes, the best jokes in our tradition, don't just make us laugh, but they actually tell us a little lesson. They teach us something about how to view life, how to think, how to prepare, and how to cope. And that's what I want to do with you today, is I would like to tell you some of my all-time favorite Jewish jokes, and then quickly share the lesson that each joke tells us. And it's a lesson that I think you can carry with you for the rest of your lives. So without any further ado, let's get to the jokes. Joke number one is called The Flood. And some of you may have heard this joke. It's a classic Jewish joke. It's about the scientists of the world. They realize that a huge flood is coming to wipe out planet Earth. It will be here in 3 days. So the heads of all the world's major religions go on television to make their pitch. The Pope gets on TV and he says, friends, the flood is coming in 3 days. That means we have 3 days to convert to Christianity and accept Jesus as our Lord. And the chief imam, the head of Islam, gets on TV and says, friends, the flood will be here in just 3 days. That means we have only 3 days to convert to Islam and accept Allah as our savior. And the chief rabbi of Israel gets on television and says, friends, the flood is coming in 3 days. That means we have 3 days to learn how to live underwater. And I think that's the first lesson, is that no matter what you do in life, you will always be required at some point to learn how to live underwater. And the most successful people in life do this. They adapt to the situation instead of complaining. What we're doing right now, a graduation ceremony over Zoom involving people I'm probably 8,000 miles away from you, this is learning to live underwater. And it's a lesson that all of you should take with you, that you will adapt and you should adapt. And that's what will make you successful, is rolling with the punches as they come in. I'm going to counter that joke with another joke. This joke is about an old man riding on a train. And as soon as the train pulls out of the station, the old man says, "Oi, am I thirsty? Oi, am I thirsty?" For miles and miles, this old man on the train just complains, "Oi, am I thirsty? Oi, am I thirsty?" Well, when the train pulls in at the next station, immediately people run off the train, go to the concession stand, get a big cup of water and bring it to the old man. And he drinks the water down. And as the train pulls out of the station, the old man says, "Oi, was I thirsty?" And what is the lesson from this joke? It's actually the opposite of the other one, that no matter where you go in life, there are going to be people who complain no matter what. I wish I could tell you that you will never meet these people, but you will. Our lives are full of people who complain, who always see the bad side of every situation, just like this man. This old man finally got what he wanted, but it wasn't enough. What he really wanted was not a cup of water. What he really wanted was to complain. And as soon as he got his drink, he had to find something new to complain about, which was how thirsty he used to be. So lesson number 2 would be, don't be a complainer. Instead, be one of those people who rolls with the punches and learns to live underwater when the situation requires it. Joke number 3 is about the rabbi, the priest, and the minister, of course, and they're sitting around talking about what they want people to say at their funeral. And the minister says, "At my funeral, I want people to say that I was a kind and generous human being." And the priest says, "At my funeral, I want people to say that I was always there to listen." And the rabbi says, "At my funeral, I want people to say, look, he's moving." What is the lesson we get from this joke? The lesson is that even in the most dire circumstances you can imagine, even when things seem as bad as they can possibly be, in this case, the rabbi in his own casket and at his own funeral, it is still upon you. You are still obligated to see hope, to find something to live for, and to believe that the story is not yet over. Here's this rabbi supposedly at his own funeral, and yet he thinks there's been a mistake. He believes that he is still alive. And we should all go through life like that. We should all go through life believing that whatever we're seeing, whatever looks bad, is not the full story, that maybe there is life ahead of us and something good on the horizon. So that would be lesson number 3 that I give to you. This one is more of a Jewish lesson in this next joke. There's a joke about a Jewish man who's shipwrecked, and he swims all alone to a deserted island in the middle of the ocean, and he lives in on this deserted island for 4 years. Well, finally, one day, a helicopter comes flying overhead, and they see this man living alone on the island, and they send a rescue boat, and a huge ship arrives to rescue this Jewish man who's been living alone on the island. They don't know he's Jewish, but they come to rescue him. And the boat is full of journalists and TV reporters. This is a huge story, this man living alone. They want to interview him and find out how he made it through. And so when they finally meet the man, they walk around the island. He gives them a tour, and all the people notice that there are 2 huts. He built 2 little huts out of mud on this island. And they point to the first hut, the one on the right, and they say, what is that hut out of mud? And the man gets a tear in his eye, and he says, this hut right here, that is my synagogue. I am a Jew, and 3 times a day, every day, I would pray to God that one day I would be rescued. And it is my faith in God, which I only have because of this synagogue, that I was able to be alive and to survive until today. And the people all say, wow, that's such a beautiful story. And what is that hut next to it? And the man says, ugh, that's the synagogue I wouldn't go to if you paid me. What's the lesson of this joke? I think as Jews, we're in an era right now where we are defined very much by our differences and what sets us apart from other Jewish people. We often know, if you talk to Jews, they often know exactly which synagogue they would never go to, exactly what kind of rabbi they would never want to meet, what kind of Jews they would never want to associate with because they're too extreme or too strange. And I think what we need instead is to remember that we are but one small sliver of the world's population, and we need to stick together. So instead of focusing on the synagogue we would never go to unless you paid me, we should focus instead on the synagogues we would go to and the people we can learn from and the other people in our community that we would like to meet. Those positives instead of the negatives that turn us away. Let the positives define us instead of the things we absolutely wouldn't do even if you paid us. My next joke, I have 2 more. My next joke is called The Lottery. This is another well-known Jewish joke. It's about a Jewish man who's very poor, and his entire life he prays 3 times a day, Shacharit, Mincha, Ma'ariv, the morning, afternoon, and evening service. And every time he prays, he finishes by asking God to please, God, please let me win the lottery. I'm asking for nothing else, only that. Let me win the lottery so I can feed my family and give them a good home and educate my children, please. And he goes his entire life praying to God that he win the lottery, but alas, he never does. And finally, one day he dies and he goes to heaven and he meets God and he says to God, I don't get it. I was a good man. I followed all the mitzvot. Every day I prayed that you would allow me to win the lottery. How come you never let me win? And God says, did you ever buy a ticket? And here the message is very clear. So many people go through life praying for things to work out, asking God for certain circumstances, and yet asking is not alone. We also need to buy a ticket. We need to take action ourselves. I think God will meet us halfway. He'll let us win the lottery, the metaphorical lottery, but we need to all buy our tickets and do what we can do as well, and not just rely on God or other people, but take whatever action we ourselves can do. The last joke that I want to share, this is one of my favorite jokes. It's not necessarily a Jewish joke, but I put it in the category of jokes that should be Jewish, even though they're not necessarily Jewish. This is about a woman in Miami, in South Florida. She's listening to the radio when all of a sudden they come on with a special report. They report that they need to be careful. There's a dangerous situation. A car is driving the wrong way on Interstate 95, south of Miami. So immediately the woman picks up her phone and calls her elderly father on his cell phone. And she says, Dad, you got to be careful. There's a car driving the wrong way on I-95. And her father says, one car? Try all of them. So he's the one driving the wrong way. What could possibly be the lesson in this joke? I think when I thought about it, I think that the lesson here is that no matter what we do in life, there are going to be other people doing the opposite, and they are sure that their way is the correct way, and that you should actually not be afraid to be that person who's driving the wrong way while everyone else is driving the correct way, supposedly, at you. I don't mean obviously doing this on a real highway, but as you make decisions and follow your life paths, you shouldn't be afraid to be the person who is driving the wrong way, because although it looks correct to everyone else, it could be that your way is the right way and they are mistaken. So you need to listen to your own hearts and follow your own sense of direction and your own internal compass, and not necessarily what is the norm. So those are my lessons to you as I wish you a hearty Mazal Tov on your graduation. I think humor in Judaism has a lot to teach us and to offer us. And I'm hoping that through these and other jokes, you get a few lessons that can take you on into the rest of your lives. Thank you so much, Rabbi Lazar, for including me in this meaningful graduation.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for sharing your jokes and your insights and your thoughts. We're really very grateful. We always have a good time when you're around, and that's just it's hard not to. So thank you for being a part of today's celebration and for sharing your wisdom with us. I have another musical photo montage. We're going to learn who all those people were. You're going to figure out exactly who was who, and a little bit about where they're graduating from and where they're headed. Those of you who, if you have your brown paper bag, you're welcome to open it, and what we have there is a diploma, and I'm going to share my screen so people can see the diploma. And it says there. You can read it. It says, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, the extended congregational family of Temple Brit Achim hereby certifies that each of you, your name is on each of your diplomas, has participated in TBA's online graduation ceremony and celebration. The bearer of this document, also being the person named herein, is recognized officially as being a mensch of the highest possible caliber, and will forever and always find a spiritual home as part of the Temple Brit Achim extended congregational family. Each diploma has been dated, and I signed my name, and it says at the bottom there, on behalf of the Temple Brit Achim extended congregational family. You will always have a home here at TBA. So those are your diplomas. Now, if you are 18 years old, or you found the afikomen at the Seder in the social hall a couple of years ago, there's an additional envelope in there, which is a gift from me. It's an Israeli savings bond. And if you're not yet 18 years old, then when you turn 18, because this way we don't have to worry about social security numbers and tax IDs for your parents, you will get also an Israeli savings bond as a graduation gift from me. So that is what that extra envelope is for. If you found one, if you haven't found one yet, that means you're on your way to 18, and you're almost there. Or maybe you didn't. Or if you're 18 and you don't have one, maybe you didn't register in time. I bought them all earlier in the week. But regardless, you'll all get one. And at this point, I'm going to share the graduation Let's see if I can get this to work this time. Let's pause. Oh, this might actually work. I might have figured this one out. Let me get this over here, and come on. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen, and where'd that go? There we go. Bring this over here. All right. And we're going to share this and audio, and here we go.
To a place you do not know.
Very nice. All right. Well, we are almost done. So you've got your diplomas, you've heard from our speakers, and have a closing little Devar Torah to share with you. And then after the Devar Torah, one last photo montage involving more pictures that include some of your family, and then a closing blessing that we'll sing. But I have some thoughts that I want to share with you. This week we're in the book of Bemidbar, book of Numbers. We're right at the beginning. Yesterday we started the book of Numbers, and we are currently now starting the second week, so the second portion. But I have this rhyming Devar Torah that I'd like to share with you. So it goes like this. At the start of the fourth Torah book, Bemidbar, or in English, in Numbers, is where we all are, as we read yesterday of the censuses taken, and of wills and desires, both tested and shaken. God commands our friend Moses 4 times at the least to lift everyone's head down to every last priest. Lifting heads, euphemistically, is one way to ask, both of Moses and Aaron, a significant task. They're to count every man aged at least 20 years, and they shall be assisted by a bunch of their peers. What's the purpose, you ask, of a list such as this? Listing each person present, not a one shall they miss? Well, both Rashi and Rashbam, and others as well, have for years asked the same, and it's easy to tell that the question, though simple, is a tough one to solve. One of many fine answers right here might evolve. With the help of those rabbis I mentioned before, the rich, sweet words of Torah we all shall explore. Rashi says it's for love and reliance, that's all. For upon us, God knows that God always can call. Just as we count our things, our dear family and friends, keeping track of the ones upon whom each depends, we as well count upon persons dear to our heart, knowing that, when in need, they will each do their part to provide us with love and protection and care. At our neediest times, we count on them to be there. In the same way, says Rashi, God counts us all too, signifying by census love for me, love for you. We've a covenant with God, one of Tikkun Olam. Each of us is expected to take part and to come to the realization that the world must be fixed. We can't throw up our arms and let this promise be nixed. No, God treasures us, needs us to fix up this earth. For to it and to us, it is God who gives birth. Rashi's grandson, however, Rashbam, disagrees. A strategic agenda is the perspective he sees. It has nothing to do with God's love for the Jews. Rather, each of those there must be ready to choose, to go forth into battle, to reach out a hand, to, as Nachmanides says, fight to reclaim their land. It's clear their victory depends on their coordination. So the census then helps with their organization. Ramban says, not by a miracle will Israel be theirs. Rather, if Eretz Yisrael they would will to their heirs, they must take stock of everyone's talent and skills to go forth and recapture Jerusalem's hills. Whether God's love or military operations, it's clear. There's a theme, and a crucial one, which can be found here, that the good of the world in which each of us lives depends on the good that each one of us gives. We must stand and be counted, lift our heads and walk tall. Both for God and each other, we must give life our all. There is just one more issue I'd like to address, one more point upon you I'd like to impress. The Israelite people in the Torah this week are evolving, they're growing, they search and they seek. Independence is new. They are, in a sense, in their teens, trying to figure out just what community means. In their first year of freedom, they have wandered around, never knowing what's next or just what will be found. as they grow up and learn that to deal with their freedom, organization, and laws, the people do need them. They take stock and they organize, they work with each other. Every father and daughter, every son and his mother. They test, they rebel. Even Aaron and Moses have their moments discovering life's no bed of roses. It takes each individual along with the next to effectively deal with what has them perplexed. Each one tests their own waters and finds that they must, in themselves as a person, place a great deal of trust. To live up to each one's potential and then to be part of a community of women and men. Not a small part, though, mind you, a significant one, for only with each one's efforts can the group's work be done. So too, my dear graduates, you're both growing and learning. On the verge of adulthood, for a full life you're yearning. As the Israelite people lived their own adolescence, I pray that you also discover the essence of all that it takes to pursue fruitful lives, that the community on the individual thrives. Whether youth group, religious school, once you've become B'nai Mitzvah, with each new life experience, one must realize, aha, that to be the best person one can possibly be, as it says there in Numbers, verses 1, 2, and 3, is to hold one's head high, never quite losing sight of the task that's at hand, the task of living life right. Give your all, be your best, look deep into your heart, and then always remember you're a most crucial part of a larger community to which we all owe all the best of ourselves. This we always must know. See, each of you kids, say your family and friends, are the very ones upon whom our Jewish future depends. Yes, that is quite a tall order, perhaps a little unfair, as if you don't have already heaps of burdens to bear. Much is expected of you, that is just how it goes. But don't you dare scoff or snicker, no, do not thumb your nose, 'cause I know that we all will have no need to fret if this week's Torah lesson is a lesson you get. There are things that need doing, waiting for you to do them. When other things block your way, then just plow right on through them. And while the whole world's available for you to go roam, Brith Achim, when you choose to, will welcome you home. Everywhere on this earth, school, home, synagogue too, has a place that can only be filled up by you. Each of you is unique with your own gifts to offer, things that only you're able to put into the coffer. So stand tall, fix the world, help at home and outside. Best to wait, though, till quarantine orders subside. I look forward, we all do, to seeing all your successes, even ones that evolve after cleaning up messes. The drop, you'll remember, there's no way around it. So even when doom and gloom seem to have you surrounded, once again, lift your head, stand tall, and do well. For us, surely there'll be no shortage of reasons to kvel. One last musical tribute. There we go. And let me get the music ready. Okay, so now I gotta share my screen. Where'd you go? There we go. Music.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. May this be our blessing. May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace.
So we've come to the conclusion of our celebration today. We have shared thoughts. We have received words of wisdom from people who have life experience to share. We have had an opportunity to celebrate with each other. And I think most importantly, what I want to make sure that all of you graduates realize is that you have your own family and you have an extended family as well. And always remember where you come from. I had it written down. I had something I was going to say. The basic idea of this last thought is that knowing where you come from is one of the few ways that will surely help you understand where you're going. So always look back to recognize and include and embrace but always look forward to make sure that you are moving forward, taking with you all that there is to gain from the experiences you have. So, Mazal Tov to all of you, and we'll sing a nice refrain of Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov. Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov u'Mazel Tov v'Siman Tov, Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov u'Mazel Tov v'Siman Tov, Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov u'Mazel Tov v'Siman Tov. Yehei lanu, Yehei lanu, Yehei lanu, u'lecho Yisrael. Yehei lanu, Yehei lanu, u'lecho Yisrael. Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov u'Mazel Tov v'Siman Tov, Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov u'Mazel Tov v'Siman Tov, Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov u'Mazel Tov v'Siman Tov. Yehei lanu. Thank you, Rear Admiral Kantrowitz, and thank you, comedian Joel Chasnoff. I'm sorry for not having the right music for you. And thank you to all of you who participated. And what a great day! A great day it is indeed. So I hope this was good for you. Those of you who have not yet received the little extra gifts that were supposed to have been included, it'll be included. You'll get it at some point. But I'm just glad that you're all with us today. So Mazal Tov, and this concludes our celebration today. And I'm going to end this. Thank you all. Mazal Tov.
Mazal
Rabbi.
Tov, everyone. Thank you for including us.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you so much, Rabbi.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Gabrielle. Mazal Tov.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad. Best to your folks.